Hello, fellow musicians. We are going to start today with a rhythm exercise. Even though I have this recorder, I'm not going to use it for the first half of this video. I'm just going to use my hands to clap out some rhythms, okay? We'll get to the recorder a little later. It's really important if you're going to be able to read a piece of music. You've got to know not only the notes, but also the rhythms. So today, we're going to focus on these rhythms. You see here, we have eighth notes. When you have what looks like a quarter note tied together with this flag where it kind of goes across these two notes, that makes it eighth note. That makes it half of a beat. 2 eighth notes, or 2 halves, equal a whole, one whole beat, or a quarter note. If you see down here, we have 2/4. 2 beats for every measure. Each beat is a quarter beat. So there's 1/4 together, 2 eighth notes, right? There's another quarter, 1 beat. These two together equal 2, so 1 and 2. Now you'll notice that I say and for the second eighth note. It's just a way for me and other musicians to count. If you were to watch me count this, if I were to read this for the first time and I'm like, okay, what am I looking at? This is how I would count it. 1 and 2, 3, 1 and 2, 1 and 2, 1, 2, 1 and 2. Now in my head, even though this is a quarter note and I'm going to play it for the entire duration of the beat, in my head I'm still thinking and, like 1 and 2 and I do that to keep myself steady. So even though I don't say the word and there, or here, or 1 and, or 2 and, or 2 and, I'm still thinking it because it subdivides the beat. It makes it easier for me to be more accurate. So let me try that again. 1 and 2, 1 and 2, 1, 2, 1 and 2, right? All right, so let's see what that looks like if we clap along, and notice the star is going to bounce along with us. 2, 1, go. 1 and 2. Wow, 1 and 2, 1 and 2. That goes a little faster than I thought. Let's try that again. Woo! 2, ready. 1 and 2, 1 and 2, 1, 2, and 1 and 2. All right. Because of its 2/4, we'll try it again. Let's slow it down a little bit. 2 clicks down. Ready? 1 and 2 and ready and go. And 1 and 2, 1 and 2, 1 and 2, and 1 and 2. Make a little bit of sense? Okay. Keep practicing with it. If you have to slow it down even more, do that. Let's try this one. Oops. Let's try that. Start out a little slower. 1 and 2 and ready and go. And 1 and 2 and 1 and 2 and 1 and 2 and 1 and 2 and so. Remember, 1 and 2 and 1 and 2 and 1 and 2 and 1 and 2. Let's try it again, but we're going to try it at the tempo. 1, 2, and ready and go. And 1 and 2 and 1 and 2 and 1 and 2 and 1 and 2. Good news is, if you didn't get this the first time, you can always rewind, go back, watch it again until you do get it. But all this is it's reading. We're reading music instead of reading words on a paper, sentences, paragraphs. We're just learning to read a new language. When you started learning to read English, you started with letters, and then you worked into sentences and then paragraphs and books, right? You started that back in kindergarten. So if this is new to you now and you're like, I don't get it, give yourself some time. Realize it takes time for our brains to take in all of this information to where we can use it, not just clap along, but to actually speak it, right? So we have 1 and 2 and 1 and 2, 1 and 2 and 1 and 2. I'll slow it down. Try it with me. Ready, go. 1 and 2 and 1 and 2 and 1 and 2 and 1 and 2. Let's try it again at tempo. 2, ready, go. 1, 2, 1 and 2, 1 and 2 and 1 and 2. Nice. Last one here. Slow it down a little bit before we start. 1, 2 and 1, 2, 1, 2 and 1 and 2 and. Let's try it with me. 1, 1, 2, ready, go. 1 and 2 and 1 and 2 and 1 and 2 and 1 and 2 and. Okay, let's try that at tempo. 1, 2, ready, go. 1 and 2 and 1 and 2, 1, 2 and 1 and 2. There we go. Questions? Let me know. All right, so check this out. This one's a little tricky. Notice we have missing notes, and it's asking you to place the notes where you think they go. And you have enough information here. We just need to infer and place the notes correctly. Now notice the name of the title, Merrily in eighth notes. This is Merrily We Roll Along. And we could write this using quarter notes. We could write it using eighth notes. We can write it using sixteenths if we wanted to, or half notes. But the point is, we can write it differently and just change the tempo using different notation. So, merrily we roll along. We have B, A, G, A, B, B, B. Duh. So if I were to sing that, and my first note is, merrily we roll along. How's the next part of the song go? Roll along. So we went from roll along with a 1 and 2. So the rhythm is eighth, eighth, quarter. But notice we also roll along, roll along. We went down. So my thing is this. Da, 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 da. My ear is picking up a note that's just close to that B, that's a little lower, but not like da, da, da. We don't do da, da, da. So I'm thinking it's an A, and I'm going to use 2 eighth notes, and I'm going to place them right over where the A is. And then I have roll da 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 da. Well, I need a quarter note. So that's what I have in my head. If I were to play that, this is what it would sound like. Sounds right to me. Now, the only other thing to think about is this. Notice how these are connected above, and these stems go down and are connected below. You might be wondering, like, how do I know when to use them? Really, we just use the middle line of the staff, which is the B, as the dividing point. Once we reach B, instead of going up, they go down. Even though this is a B, the rest of these, this one is under that line, so we're going to stay up with our stems. And notice G and A are below that B, so our stems are up. Notice here, they're all B's, those stems go down. But since we're A, and A is below that middle line, stems go up. It's just an easier way to write, and it's just how it's always been. Just like all your grammar rules, capitalization, punctuation, and all that are the way they are because that's how everybody does it. This is the way everybody does it in writing music, so we just get used to it. So, yeah. Merrily we roll along, roll along, roll along. How's the next part of the song go? Merrily we. Oh, I'm betting it's the exact same thing as up here. So we're going to take a higher note and a lower eighth note, higher eighth, lower eighth, with a connecting beam. Put it on the B and the A because that's where the other one is. Da da. G, A. So we need an ascending set of eighth notes. Ascending meaning going up. Descending means going down. Merrily we, da da da. Hey, there it is again. And since we're on the B, we're going to take the eighth notes with the stems down. Doo doo, doo doo doo. A lot of doo-dooing going on here, huh? That's what my kids would say. B, A, G. So if I were to play through it, it would sound like this. I messed up though. I placed one of these incorrectly. Take a second to see where I messed up. I played it the way it's supposed to be. But if you look down here in this measure, what I actually played is, what I actually wrote is merrily we roll along is not right. This should actually be on G and A. I just went too quick. That's right. So let's go ahead and play this. Play along with me. Starting on B.
Page 13, Merrily in eighth notes. One, two, ready, play.
Ta-da! I want you to practice through all those, the rhythms, hot cross bun. Make sure you're understanding what the rhythms mean. If you need help, email me. Otherwise, look at the beginning, end of the book. They have information that helps you to be better at reading this. I hope you have a good time. I'll see you next week.